Hey guys, just a couple things to update you with very quickly, just a little different video today. First up, I wanted to let you know that a new article of mine just dropped on the Arms Guide, and it talks about my 5 preferred concealed carry categories. But it doesn't stop there. It tells you my 5 favorite guns in each category. So I encourage you to go over and check out that article. Share it if you would, but more importantly, comment. Let's get into conversation about what your preferred carry category is and what your preferred handguns in that category are. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that I started today the process of reviewing. Some of you guys have been following the DMR project, and I had a different scope on the M1A, and now I have this scope that I am checking out from Primary Arms. It is their 4-14 by 44 millimeter rifle scope. It is called the ACSS HUD DMR 308 223 scope. That's a mouthful, but it is the ACSS reticle HUD DMR scope from Primary Arms. So I'm beginning this kind of budget-oriented scope. I kind of showed you a mid to more expensive range scope earlier, and I'm starting this process of reviewing this Primary Arms scope, which seems to have really good potential. So I'm excited about getting this out to the range. Wanted to kind of cue you guys in on that first look. So I'm going to do something a little bit different here. So let's get right to it. Somehow I existed on YouTube for quite some time without really paying very much attention to the fact that people were doing these things called shoutouts. And apparently a shoutout is like the equivalent of a digital social media back scratch. You know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of thing. That's the way it seems to a certain degree, but I'm not so interested in doing that, though I am interested in growing the channel. I am super thankful for those of you that have given me a shout out, though. I really appreciate that, and I'm sure that I will get my act together and follow up with some of you guys' channels that I watch regularly. In the meantime, I am a YouTube watcher. That's how this has all gotten started. So I'm going to start out by, first of all, thanking a guy named Blaze that shouted me out for the very first time. It kind of drew my attention to this. Super cool guy, has some cool videos, and took time out of his day to direct people to the content that I was producing. So that really humbled me, and I felt really really grateful for that. So I just wanted to thank you, man. That's really good of you. And then I thought, you know what, YouTube is kind of a cool place, and there are people coming to it all the time that have probably similar interests to my own. And I thought I would just start out by telling you the YouTube channels that I watch. So I'm going to take just a minute and share with you the channels that I really enjoy watching. These are the top 10 to 15. I'll just go through. I'm not going to do a whole bunch more than that to start with. And these are all going to be relatively large channels because they were the channels that drew my attention to begin with. And those are typically channels that have a large following. So they'll kind of post towards the top. Just the way search engine optimization, it's the way searching kind of works. A lot of traffic tends to get posted at the top. You know the drill. So I just wanted to talk to you about a few of the channels that I watch pretty regularly and that I've really found helpful. And I'm just going to mention them to you kind of not in any particular order. I also realize that some of these channels are a bit polarizing, and you guys can just deal with that. I'm just telling you honestly who I'm subscribed to and who I end up watching, and I'm going to start with some of the larger ones. So first up on the list that I wrote down was this CaptainBerz. CaptainBerz is a cool guy. His kind of dry wit makes me laugh, and he really has some thorough and helpful reviews about products that I'm interested in. He shares a passion in that he seems to review backpacking gear quite a bit, so I'm assuming from that he's kind of out in the woods doing the outdoors thing quite a bit, and so that interests me, that drew me to his work. He's a great shooter, and Just seems like a good guy, the kind of guy I would grab a cup of coffee with anytime. So shout out to you, or back scratch to you. Yeah, that's not gonna play very well. So CaptainBerz, check out his channel if you don't already. You probably do. Then recently I started following a channel called, that just has the name of the instructor, John Lovell, or I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. If it's not, brother, I'm sorry. But John seems like a really cool guy. In fact, I'm going down, my wife and I were planning on going to actually take a trip to do some training at the Telura group where John teaches, just because, you know what, I think he seems like a right-on kind of guy. We have a lot to learn, and he seems like a good teacher. He actually happens to share my faith, though that's not why I'm giving him a shout out. I really am helped by the content that he's producing. I find it interesting. I find it entertaining. So I watch John's channel. I also, in that kind of vein of instructors, I also watch the HaleyStrategic channel. This is cool from a getting new drills kind of standpoint. I find that that's a good, it's entertaining to watch, but it's also something that's kind of helpful to say, hey, you know, I want to mix it up at the range. Mrgunsngear is probably one of the most prolific YouTubers out there. He just is constantly posting something new, and unlike most YouTubers, most of what he posts happens to be something that I'm actually interested in. Like he does a lot with optics and rifles, and I really enjoy watching Mrgunsngear's channel. Next on my list is, I don't know how you pronounce this, but TiborasaurusRex. It normally goes under the Rex Reviews. He talks a lot about long range shooting. He did kind of a series, the long range shooting kind of series, sniper shooting kind of series, and I mean long range, the 101 series. It's really interesting, but he's doing kind of broader content at this point, and I really enjoy watching it. OffTheRanch. This guy started with a demolition ranch, and he's got like a vet ranch channel. He's got a bunch of different things. I like watching the OffTheRanch channel. Demolition ranch is fine, but it never like sucked me in. I'm a family man, he's a family man. It's just, I don't know, it's interesting to me. I relate to it. Something about the psychology of it, I find it entertaining, and the projects that they're into, I enjoy as well. Colion Noir. I still have no idea how to say this guy's name, but I love, like, this is probably one of the only ones that I'm truly like a fanboy of. Like, I don't know what it is, but something about this guy's demeanor is, I mean, it's just so entertaining to me. Obviously, his scripts for his early reviews are just phenomenal. They're well written. They're super entertaining. I mean, he was just taking good shots when he started his channel, just good shots with good voiceover scripts written, and I mean, it was phenomenal. But now he seems to be one of the best ambassadors for the shooting sports in the urban, you know, city kind of community. I'm in a similar environment to him, in the uptown area, in the center city area, and I can just tell you, it's not an easy place to have a lot of gun-centric conversation, a lot of Second Amendment conversation, and I find his arguments to be compelling and winsome. I find his kind of demeanor, or his, I don't know, maybe here's a way to say it, like, a lot of times somebody has a good position that you would agree with, but their disposition just stinks. But this guy is entertaining, and I feel like he's not only got a position that I can get behind, but his disposition is indicative of somebody that I would just like, I'd go chill with, you know, and I really find that to be that helpful to what we're trying to get done in the 2A culture. So next up, AregularGuy. AregularGuy just does kind of brutal, long-term, lots of round tests. Some of those tests are getting a little shorter right now, but all good stuff. I'm actually even engaged in his Facebook community and I enjoy the content that AregularGuy puts out, so good on you, man. I have no idea how to pronounce this either. I probably should have listened and looked all these things up before I mentioned it, but this is just on the fly. VuurwapenBlog, or however you want to say this, I'll post all the links below this video. But this guy does not post regularly, but when he posts, it gets tons of traffic, and it's for a reason. It's really concise and really entertaining and really helpful information. So I really like this guy's video blog. Reid Henrichs, another teacher, instructor that I think he's fun to watch, he's fun to listen to, and I find drills and information helpful that he puts out there. Just in that same vein, talking about instructors, I enjoy watching the new channel from OffTheRanch. I just get a kick out of watching Clint Smith's information. My wife laughs every time she hears me listening to a Clint Smith video, but I am a huge fan of the content they're putting out. James Yeager, I love to listen to James Yeager's videos. They're, again, some of these may be polarizing. I don't care what you think. I think they're entertaining, and I think the information they're putting out is really helpful. So there you go. Last Line of Defense. I like to watch this guy's reviews. Some of the stuff that he reviews is not at all interesting to me, you know. And even still, the way he speaks about some of those reviews tends to draw me in. It wasn't very long ago that I found myself watching, while I was working on a project, I had my phone up, and this guy was talking about like all the stuff that he has like on the everyday in his truck, and it was a ton of stuff. And honestly, I wouldn't be interested in that video. I don't know why I found myself watching it, other than it kind of came on, and something about the way he presented the information was entertaining to me, and it kept me engaged. So it's a cool video. Maybe he does some kind of voodoo magic, I don't know. Practically Tactical, I enjoy listening to this. They also have a podcast. There are some other podcasts that I'll mention down the road. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of mention, I don't know how many of those are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I just wanted to mention those 14 channels that I watch really regularly. There are a ton of others. These are some of the larger ones. I'll talk about some of the smaller ones in the future. Just wanted to reach out to you guys and tell you this is what I enjoy watching in YouTube land. As always, this is Rev encouraging you. Don't waste your life.